time, as a heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield gets to defend the title against a man no bigger than himself. They both weighed in at 214 pounds. Lo and behold, Evander even has a 1.5-inch reach advantage over Moorer.
Moorer's weight indicates that Teddy Atlas has indeed won the battle of wills and the battle of the bulge in training, but there is no way of weighing Evander Holyfield's heart. No scale
Punch
big
stat
enough.
numbers, Larry.
Here are punch stat numbers, an indication of how busy these fighters are, and the numbers are almost identical. Even in the jabs. But they don't fight by the numbers.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman. Harold?
Evander Holyfield and Michael Moorer will box tonight using the rules of the World Boxing Association, because this time it's their turn. 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. You can be saved by the belt in the last round only. Only the referee can stop the fight, and in case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, and that cut causes the fight to be stopped, we go to the scorecards after 3 rounds have been completed. Before that, it's a technical draw. Larry?
As an indication of the respect for Moorer's punching power, Holyfield's handlers tried to get the commission to waive that 3 knockdown rule, which would have favored him, but they didn't.
All right now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. I would like everyone at this moment to please rise. Before we begin, I have some sad news to pass on to everybody. We have just been informed that the former President of the United States, Richard M. Nixon, has passed away. At this time, we would please like a moment of silence in his honor for the former President of the United States, Richard M. Nixon. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, in the ring, we have the honor guard with the colors from the Nellis Air Force Base. And please remain standing for our national anthem, to be performed by one of America's finest singers, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeffrey Osborne. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave all the land of the free and the home of the brave. Jeffrey Osborne. And now, ladies and gentlemen, main events monitor in association with your undisputed, undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman, Dr. Elias Ghanem. Commissioners, Nat Carasali, Luther Mack, Dr. James Ney, and Crispin Rivera. Chief Inspector at ringside is Mark Ratner. This bout is also sanctioned by the World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza, and the International Boxing Federation, President Robert W. Lee Sr. Ringside representation for the IBF is by Alvin Goodman and by Robert W. Lee Jr. The supervisor for this contest from the WBA is York Van Nixon Jr. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Flip Homansky, Dr. James Wishgame, and Dr. Al Capana. Timekeeper, James Cavan. Counting for the knockdown seconds, Mike Lasella. The three judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system are Chuck Jampa, Jerry Roth, and Dalby Shirley. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, working for the 73rd time in a world championship bout, is Mills Lane. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the site where legends are made, Caesar's Palace of Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the green trunks and weighing in at 214 pounds even. Fighting out of the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, he brings a perfect record of 34-0 in 30 bouts, 30 victories by knockout, and he has held 2 WBO world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the #1 ranked heavyweight challenger in the world, Michael across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with black and gold trim. He also weighed in at 214 pounds even. This 1984 Olympic bronze medalist is now a 3-time world title holder as a professional. He has a professional record of 30 victories with 22 KOs against only 1 defeat. And that only loss was turned around in this very same ring here at Caesar's Palace 6 months ago, making him, once again, the heavyweight champion of the world from Atlanta, Georgia, Evander Holyfield.
Okay, Don. All right, Teddy, if he goes right here, it's going to be all right. Fair enough. If he goes right here, it's going to be all right. Now, we've already been through the instructions one time. This is for the championship of the world. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger? Any questions from the champion? Let's get it on.
Will Michael Moore get it on? Will he seize the initiative? He's a natural counterpuncher by temperament and style. His trainer, Teddy Atlas, says he has to make it happen.
Here we go.
Mills Lane instructs the timekeeper to pound the bell, and here we go. Round 1 begins. Holyfield jabbed, danced, and occasionally slugged his way to victory over Riddick Bowe in this ring 6 months ago. Many believe if he tries to continue using slugging as a part of that mix here, it could turn out to be a mistake. Moore's first punch is a left to the body. Holyfield starts with the jab.
Holyfield is starting to play the old southpaw game, touch and then jab. Just got to lay that left jab out there and forget about missing it. Just bring it back quick.
First combination for Holyfield, a simple left and right. Both fighters cautious so far. Holyfield no doubt curious about Moorer's much vaunted punching power.
That's right, but you don't want to be too curious to go out there and see about it. What he's got to do, and he's going to do well, is hit and then hold. It's against the rule, but it's a good strategy for Holyfield.
Well, there's the holding.
You hold him because once you miss him, you don't know where he is exactly.
It's been 8 years since Evander's been in the ring with a southpaw. Neither fighter terribly active so far. George?
Holyfield is real dry. Doesn't seem like he did a lot of warming up, and he's kind of hesitant. That time he
landed
didn't
a
hold.
short left. He held after landing a short left inside. Moorer landed a straight right. Best exchange so far. Not much happening in the first 2 minutes of round 1. The champion, Holyfield, seemingly only beginning to warm up. Now the combinations begin to flow.
Punch out, 2 hands are free, and there you got 2 hands free. Punch, get your hand up that neck.
I think the referee is going to have to be quite understanding. When you fight a southpaw, you just can't hit and move out of the way. You got to sometimes just touch them to know where they are.
Get off that hand. Punch free. All right, get him up, Michael. Come on, get
Moorer
him
working
up.
to the body as Holyfield tries to come inside. Holyfield landing another short left hook.
Punch out, come on, come on.
Those 2 short lefts have been the biggest punches of round 1 so far. Another 4-punch combination by Evander. Moorer misses in return. Now Moorer lands the right hand, and Holyfield grabs and holds.
Moorer is trying to initiate the action, but he doesn't seem comfortable doing it.
How you feeling, bro? Listen, relax, relax. Relax, slow. Nice, easy breathing. You and that Vaseline. You're moving, you're jumping too much. Okay. Half steps. Half steps, man. You see everything, don't you?
Yeah.
You're not doing nothing at the right distance out or off to the side. Snap that jab. Do not start looking for one punch. Now, I don't want you throwing the left hand to the body from too far away. You're reaching in. He's going to start countering you. He's an experienced guy. Switch up. Fake it to the body, throw it to the head. Switch on a guy like this. Now look for it. Keep snapping at you. Okay, let's go to work, man. Let's go to work. Let's go to work.
George, what does Holyfield's trainer mean by telling him just take half steps?
Well, he shouldn't move too quick. Just a little movement to your left. Just a little movement. A half step. Then there's a step and a half.
Does this have to do with fighting a southpaw, George?
Yeah, you don't want to lose the guy at any time. You got to see him and keep your eye on him. So a half step keeps keep him right in your sight. A full step, you lose him and he catches you for it.
Moorer beginning to stick the right jab. Holyfield, for the moment, unable to block Moorer's jab.
I think Holyfield is making a mistake by not jabbing. He's holding it back to get a good jab. Just let it go out there. You'll be surprised. He's just as easy to hit as a right-hander.
But that tentativeness, as you point out, George, directly related to the different look that a southpaw gives him.
Yeah.
Now, when they trade punches in close, Moorer will square his left foot up. And in effect, at that point, he's not right-handed or left-handed.
The old saying is just do it.
Right hand over the top seemed to wobble Evander for a moment. Maybe playing possum, trying to invite Moorer in.
Holyfield loves to taste your power.
Oh, 1 step back. Come on, come on. 1 step back clean. Come on. Come on, clean. Here we go. Come on.
Butting body punch from Moorer. His power driving Holyfield back now as round 2 progresses. George, you say Evander loves to taste your power. What kind of a fighter does that? Crazy one?
You can believe it. To prove, hey, I can take it, now I'm going to get you back. He figures if you hit him with 5 shots, you're going to be tired, and he's coming after you. Just can't work all the time. Moore doesn't hesitate to throw his jab.
You say that when you fought him, Evander was simply too elusive for you to ever get that 3rd shot in on him. There's a solid right hand by Moore, and Holyfield wobbles back a bit. No answer from Holyfield as Moore steps in and pounds away. Short punches inside, doing damage for Moore. Already his punching power a factor in the bout. Holyfield knocks him down.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That is so Holyfield. George, you called that right on the money. Tasted the power and brought it back to Moore.
And he did something real smart. He did the old crossover.
Wait this again. Listen. You got yourself right back together. The only thing you did was you posed after you punched. The beginning was you. It was all you that round, and then you stepped back straight. And you took the eye contact off him. Keep your concentration up. You hear me? You step straight back after you punch.
Here you watch as that round unfolds. Some guys you can shoot bullets at, you can hit them with 2x4s, you can throw them off a cliff, you can drop them in acid, and they keep coming back just like that. That is what Evander Holyfield does. He feels that if you hit him with a good shot and you're still there, the guy is saying to himself, what do I got to do to hurt this man?
All right, he knocked Moore down with what you called the old crossover, George.
Yeah, when you square up against a southpaw and you put both hands up in the crossover position, he is off balance too because you're not giving him that disadvantage of being left foot first. Then you can get him.
So that opened up the short right hand for Evander Holyfield, which was the dominant punch in an active round 2.
Holyfield should give that look to him all night. Southpaws cannot function in the crossover defense.
Lest you give up on Michael Moore because of that 2nd round knockdown. Remember that he was down against Bert Cooper, hurt badly against Alex Stewart, came back to win both of those fights by knockouts. This man loves a war.
Watch the head, both of you, watch the head. Punch out, 2 hands are free, come on. You got 2 hands free in there, come on.
Moore's jab continues to bother Holyfield.
Holyfield seems to me he's found the pocket now. He's not worried too much about Mo's power. He knows where the punches are coming. He's going to lay in there and have some fun now.
Good idea because he knows what he's doing, or a bad idea because it will expose him to punishment?
It's a great idea. He's experienced enough. He's tasted more powerful punches from bigger guys. Lay in that pocket and be the most experienced fighter.
All right, we'll sit back, both of you. Attaboy, here, come here, come on.
Left hook lead for Holyfield.
The hand off that neck, Evander, come on. Get off that neck in there, punch out.
Hasn't yet gone to the straight right hand lead that so many fighters choose to employ against southpaws.
Holyfield has seen that anytime you want to rest, you give him the old crossover. Get in front of him, he can't do anything about it.
He's hurt. Hit him. He's hurt. All right, sit back, come on, come on. Attaboy, get off that neck, come on. That elbow down.
There's the straight right hand, and it set up a left hook and another right for Holyfield. And another straight right, and another.
right, one step back. Hey, come on, one step back. Come on, one step back. Let's go.
And just like that, Evander learns that the oldest weapon in the book against the southpaw will work for him here.
Breathe deep, baby. Breathe deep. Vaseline. Oh, I got it. Both sides. How you feel, man? Listen. Breathe deep. You're doing a real good job. You're doing a real good job. When you get in front of him in the danger zone, you got to take off. Don't let him beat you to the punch, and don't back straight up.
One deep, easy breath. Let it real easy. There you go. Let your mind.
Water. And let him swallow. I want you to use that jab, and I want you to work off it. I don't want you to be satisfied with it. You hear me? You go in there, and you start backing this guy up, and you start doing what we trained to do. Otherwise, don't come back to this fucking corner. Do you hear me? Let's go. And when he's inside, start.
Let's go. Come on.
This is the first heavyweight championship fight for trainer Teddy Atlas too, but he knows that it can get away from him, and he's trying to get his fighters' attention, not to let him get lulled into losing more rounds.
Mura's manager, John Davamos, says of his fighter, he doesn't have to like Teddy Atlas, he just has to listen to him. And so far he does.
If Holyfield is going to stay over there, he's better stop using the orthodox left hand stance to block punches. He can catch it.
Mura landing the jab seemingly at will, able to just simply throw it past Holyfield's left hand. Evander still doing pretty well when he gets in close and trades punches. That's what a lot of the experts think is too dangerous for him.
Well, Evander had this guy going, and he decided to take a break and have some fun. And now it's going to be hard to pick up that same energy again unless he gets hurt. If you hurt a guy, you got to go for it.
Come on, punch out.
The right cross drew oohs and ahs from the crowd, but
punching.
glanced off the gloves of Michael Mura.
Hit him up, Michael. Come on, get over there. Come on. Come on, let's go. Come on.
Mills Lane cautioning Mura to keep his punches up.
Good straight left to the body by Michael Moore.
Come on, punch out.
Holyfield not nearly as active as he was against Bo last November. Not nearly so much the boxer tonight as he was in that bout.
Well, he's found himself in a weird position of being the aggressor and the more powerful guy tonight, and he just doesn't know how to get him to operate in that function in that position.
Straight right lands again. Each man now with a seemingly unstoppable weapon. Moore's jab with the right hand, Holyfield's straight right into and across the southpaw stance.
What's the next? Come on, let's go.
You've got to have that right hand lead when you're playing with southpaws. Keep that right hand in their face, making them back away and think twice. Holyfield has got to do that.
Moore lands a left inside, follows up with a right and then a left to the body. Holyfield has enough and backs away.
I thought that was a very tough round for Evander Holyfield.
Listen, man.
How did you see it, Harold?
Larry, I've got it 3 rounds to 1. 39-36, Evander Holyfield. I agree with you on that 4th round. I thought Michael Moore definitely won the 4th round, landed some good punches. Now he's starting to come alive. But the first 3 rounds, I just don't think he did enough. Now, I scored round 2 10-8. Some people would argue because certainly Moore was winning it early. But Evander Holyfield did score that clean knockdown. I gave him a 10-8 round in a second. I got Evander up by 3.
We're in sync.
Up to the head. In 4. Huh? You want just, to be heavyweight champ. Start doing it. Keep jabbing, hitting him with the jab. Don't let him back you up. Stay off those ropes. And when he's resting inside, slide back and hit him with combination. All right? Give him the mouthpiece. Give him the mouthpiece, Mo. Get strong. Get strong. Get those shoulders off there.
Devastating left hand by Moorer. What does he follow up with? He goes to the body. Holyfield trying to cover. Now Evander's all right.
Holyfield is in with a guy who's fought light heavyweight like him. Their hands are a lot quicker than natural heavyweights. You just can't stand in front of them holding your hands up. They'll get right between that defense.
Evander trying to answer Moorer's jab with his own. Now he goes back to the straight right.
Hey, time. Okay, now come on. It's the first one. Come on.
Holyfield is tired. Yeah, Holyfield is tired now. He's no longer snapping a jab. He's throwing them in, leaping in. It's like he's lost control of his body.
I agree with you, George. I sense that there's some fatigue there. Maybe it's an illusion. We'll see.
Needs two more right hands from Michael Moorer right there. This has been a big round for Moorer so far.
Holyfield is having to fight these 4 or 5 rounds in the wrong position. And sometimes it doesn't matter what shape you're in. When you're doing something in the wrong way, burns you out. That straight left by Michael Moorer to the stomach really hurt Evander Holyfield.
Evander has spent weeks telling the world that he didn't think Moorer's southpaw stance or the simple fact that he was left-handed would bother him. Yesterday, when we began to discuss with him his good friend Pernell Whitaker and all the qualities that make Whitaker the best fighter in the world, the first thing Evander said was, well, he's left-handed. Now, Holyfield in trouble again as the result of Moorer's power punching. A left hook by Moorer started that sequence, drove Holyfield against the ropes.
If only Holyfield wasn't tired.
This round is becoming target practice for Moorer, but there's the left hook. The answer from Holyfield.
There's a bad cut on Holyfield's left eye.
Punch out, come on.
He came out of a clinch. I don't know if it was a fight, but there is a cut, and this calls into question the fact that he doesn't have a real cut man in his corner.
He fired cut man Ace Murata, let him go because his new trainer Don Turner said cut men are unnecessary. I can do that. Well, we're going to find out if Don Turner is able to do it. Evander showing his warrior's heart, fighting back now. He recognizes that the eye is cut. You saw him paw at it with his glove.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Okay. Get the Vaseline.
The cut looks like it's just above the corner of the eye, below the brow.
The Lord's with you, man. The Lord's with you. The Lord's with you.
Was it a headbutt? There you see it.
Take a deep breath.
According to Mills Lane, it was a punch, not a headbutt.
Seconds out, let's go. Come on, Teddy, come on.
Has Holyfield suddenly become an old champion, George?
And suddenly in that round, Michael Moorer doubled Holyfield's punch output. He threw 74 punches in round number 5, recognizing and seizing opportunity. So now, with Ace Murata watching somewhere near the ring, but no longer working for Holyfield as his cut man, Evander goes back to work, having bled above the left eye.
If Evander chooses to, he can stay close like that for a few rounds. Get his win together. Nobody's going to blame him. They know he's getting bombed by some heavy punches. Stay close and don't catch it. But when you get far away like that, you can get caught with those straight left hands.
George, Evander's trainer Don Turner said, we don't need a cut man. Anybody who can't stop a cut from bleeding shouldn't be a trainer. What do you think of that?
No. Some trainers have got to dedicate themselves to operating that fight. Let another man concentrate on those cuts.
You know, as I said several years ago in Tokyo, when Mike Tyson had amateurs in his corner who couldn't deal with a bad eye, you don't look for a person off the streets to put on the back of Secretariat. You get the best people in the world in your corner just in case something like this happens.
When you're fighting for that kind of money, who cares what you pay them? Get them in there.
Don't step back. Don't step neck, Evander. Come on, you're on the neck too much. Come on.
Meanwhile, Moore hasn't been able to be as active in round 6 as he was in round 5 because Holyfield has given us more footwork, has begun to hold whenever possible, and is working to slow the action down and give his eye a chance to stop bleeding.
And that eye is giving him a lot of trouble. And Moore is jabbing in it, tricking him like he's going to hit him back in it and then going to the body.
Step back. Here we go.
He's taking advice from his corner.
Straight right hand from Holyfield. In the last 3 rounds, it's been one of his best weapons. Moore going to the body and then reaching over the top, but missing. Jab lands well for Moore. He should stick with it, George.
I think so, but at the same time, if he get into a jabbing battle with Evander Holyfield, this fight could go for another 5 rounds. Evander can do some awful dirty things to Moore.
Well, that's why you heard trainer Teddy Atlas saying, be happy with your jab, but don't be satisfied with it. Work off of it. Give me some other stuff, too.
Evander's got this small waist that is tailor-made for body punching. A guy starts landing those shots, it'll make it hurt.
For the moment, Evander is simply running, trying to stay out of trouble.
I have never seen Holyfield in this posture, at least only in the first Bowe fight when he was really damaged. We haven't seen any really big punches. He just seems to be empty here, at least for the moment.
I wonder what he thinks of the $25,000 he didn't want to pay Ace Murata right now.
How you feel, man? Listen, you're going back. Give me some water. Give me some water.
Rub my shoulder, my left shoulder.
Rub his left shoulder.
My left shoulder. Left shoulder.
Give me the rag. You gotta start check marking and combination in punches, man.
Okay.
How much time, Tim?
30 seconds.
Huh?
30 seconds. 25.
Give him some water, Tim. Here, let me put this on there.
10.
I got this control. I got this control. You understand?
Hey, the Lord's with you, homie. The Lord's with you.
Use your mind.
Evander Holyfield said something about his left shoulder. I don't know what he meant. I don't know if he's hurt his left shoulder.
Sometimes when you lift those weights, bench pressing, you're always hurting something.
But he doesn't seem to be firing with anything, left or right.
There's the left hook. Straight right hand before it, another right hand afterward. Moore goes back to the body. Evander Holyfield threw only 22 punches in round number 6. The round during which he spent most of the time running away. Now here he comes again. Suddenly the champion returns with initiative and vengeance.
Moore comes right back with good body punches. Those punches are hurting Evander Holyfield.
Left hand over the top by Moore. Crowd supporting Holyfield as never before. They chanted holy, holy, holy about 40 seconds ago, and he delivered with that flurry of punches. Now the jab lands. Holyfield's hands down at his side, inviting Moore in, and Michael is too smart to fall for it.
So far, the bloody eye has not bothered him in this round. Maybe he was just taking a round off.
The corner's done a good job with stopping the bleeding.
Little blood coming from the mouth of Moore.
Evander has not been able to get that perfect left hook he throws to the body yet. That could be a telling point if this fight goes beyond 10 rounds.
Crushing jab from Moore. He continues to be able to land that right jab almost at will. So much has happened. Hard to believe that we're already past the midpoint in round 7 of this 12-round heavyweight championship fight. Holyfield coming up and under with the uppercut. You see any reason to believe, George, that left shoulder is bothering him?
Yeah, it is. He's not snapping that left jab, which is his trademark, a good left jab. He's wanting more than any time in his life to get a knockout. And this is not Evander Holyfield. A knockout creates itself.
One of Moore's bad habits is to stand against the ropes and take punishment. Bert Cooper knocked him down while he was in one of those periods. Alex Stewart hurt him. But in both instances, he came back and won by KO.
Holyfield is trying to be a power puncher now. He's loading up with every left hook.
But give Evander credit, he came back in that round. Harold Letterman, 7 rounds. How do you have it now?
Larry, I think the last 4 rounds, Michael Moore is mugging him. I got it 4 rounds to 3, 66-66 on points. But in rounds, I got Michael Moore winning the fight. Evander Holyfield, to me, looks battered, bloody, and I think Michael Moore is taking it to him, landing a cleaner, harder shots. I think he's winning the fight.
I thought that Holyfield stole that last round, and I have him ahead 4 rounds to 3.
I tend to agree.
Come up and do nothing in front. Punch if he jumps in. Don't lay in front. Work off the jab and fight a full round. Michael, do not come back if you don't win this fight. Mouthpiece.
I got it.
Through 7 rounds, Michael Moore dominant in the jab category, landing 57% of the jabs that he throws. If Holyfield's left shoulder is indeed in pain, we may see less and less of the jab from him. Holyfield's big weapons would appear to be the straight right and the left hook inside.
Watch the heads in there. Watch the heads. Come on.
At this point, Holyfield should just set his defense. Stop moving his hands around. Keep him in one position. Moore is not mixing the punches up all around his head. He's hitting one place.
Fascinating that Moore isn't going all out to try to make his much vaunted punching power the difference in the bout. He seems content for the moment to try to box his way to the heavyweight crown. Holyfield landed a 1 straight right, now misses a lunging effort. Moore not nearly as busy in this round as was the case in the 4 preceding rounds.
Now that left hook that Holyfield is known for is starting to get in. If he's landing 2 or 3 left hooks around, he can pull this fight out easily.
I think that's his bread and butter, George.
It's to that body. It hurts. How do I know?
Oh, you should know. You're the man he hit 19 consecutive shots at one point.
All right, break.
Enough of that, right? Tactical round. Holyfield getting inside and landing some. Moore occasionally sniping over the top with the jab.
Now Holyfield is jabbing to the body a bit.
Pulls back the left. Just pawing with the jab, but lands the straight right again.
Which is what you got to do. Straight lead right hand and hold afterwards.
Now Moore attacking again.
Moore is not willing to throw a lot of punches. He's pacing himself.
Trying to finish with a flurry in a round 8, which in a close fight may have been a pretty tough round to score.
That was a tough round to score. The question in my mind now is, can Moore win a championship this way? Does he have to show some passion and make something happen? Or can he just go along trying to win each round?
Do you want me to change places with you? Do you? Come on, Michael. Listen, this guy is finished. It comes a time in a man's life when he makes a decision. He makes a decision to just live, survive, or he wants to win. You're doing just enough to keep him off you and hope he leaves you alone. You're lying to yourself because you're going to cry tomorrow. You're lying to yourself, and I'd lie to you if I let you get away with that. You're going to cry tomorrow because of that. Do you want to cry tomorrow? Huh? Then don't lie to yourself anymore. There's something wrong with this guy. Back him up and fight a full round. Okay. And after the right hook, throw the left uppercut. Inside, throw uppercuts after someone on top. Let's go. Get up.
You heard it, and that's as good as anybody can say it.
I don't know how long that marriage can last, but it's an interesting one.
Only if Michael Moore wins the championship.
Teddy Atlas addressing exactly your question, Larry. Where's the passion?
All right, one step back. One step. Go ahead on the break. One step back clean. Here we
When
go.
a fight is uncertain and he's trying to pace himself, it's hard to get him jump-started, to get out there and mix it up.
George, he's fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. If this doesn't get him jump-started, what can?
That's a great question.
All right, one step back.
But when we asked him yesterday, did it burn in his heart? Did he need this more than anything else in life? He would not answer in the affirmative. Crowd chanting, holy, 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 trying to lift Evander up.
A little headbutt and apologies.
Straight right still landing for Holyfield. Now the left hook to the body, and Moore flaps the right arm down. Evander comes back with straight rights. Excellent assault by the champion.
That left hook to the breadbasket,
Right,
it changes a lot of things.
Here we go. Come on, come on.
Evander keeps hooking the left to Michael Moore's ribcage. You won't see Moore throwing the jab a lot.
That's true. And if only Holyfield can just lead right hand and left hook finish, things can change drastically for him. But it has to happen with that straight right hand, lead right hand first.
All right, let him go. Let him go. Off the head, off the neck. Here we go. Come on.
A resolute Evander Holyfield coming back with straight rights and left hooks. He's abandoned the boxing style that beat Bo for the moment, trying to retain his championship with sheer force of will. And that's some force. Moore is going to get another scorching from Teddy Atlas, I think.
Teddy Atlas is not tasting those punches here and there.
That's right. It's always easy for those of us outside the ring to question Holyfield's credentials as a heavyweight champion. I guess you got to fight him to know.
You've got to fight to know that once you hit this guy with your best punch, he's standing there. You better wait a minute, get it together.
Michael, why the hell do you wait to the end of the round? Because you hear that, you know it's only 10 seconds left? Michael, you got 3 rounds left. You got 12 minutes left. You're blowing it. You're blowing it. I'm telling you, you're blowing it. And you know what? You're going to cry afterwards. You're going to cry afterwards. Because it's all there for you. He's going to lose his next fight instead of this fight.
You right?
Yeah, he's right there. He's checking it all the time.
You know the Lord's with you. You know the Lord's with you. Use that defense. Use that
Use your
defense.
defense. We got the rest of your life. The rest of your life. Now go out there for 9 minutes and take it to him and win the fight. Give him the mouthpiece, Mo. Mo, mouthpiece. Come on, Katie. Mo, the mouthpiece. Come on.
Evander Holyfield looks to me about 75 or 80% of himself. Give Michael Moore credit for some of that. I don't know if you can give him credit for all of it.
Evander Holyfield corner is telling him things that he wants to hear, not cussing him through it. This is a very moralistic man. He's telling him the Lord is with you. These things that Holyfield depends on. So I think he may have had the best trainer that he could get in this fight. It's not what you say, it's how you say what you say.
In other words, they're speaking the language that rings in Evander's heart.
That's right. And if you can pull that out of a man, that's greater than telling him to land the left jab and the left hook.
And let's give credit where credit is due. To this point, the cut has not decided the fight, hasn't even come close to it. Don Turner has been true to his word that he could fix that bleeding. Moore's heavy hands beginning to show up. Holyfield hanging on again. Teddy Atlas screaming at Moore, you're blowing it, you're blowing it. The very words that Angelo Dundee used with Sugar Ray Leonard in the closing stages of his dramatic comeback win over Thomas Hearns. They jump-started Ray Leonard on that night 13 years ago. They're not yet doing the same for Moore.
Holyfield is starting to get a second and a strange win here. A guy that was out of it is suddenly alive.
Get off that head. Get off that neck. Come on, push her. Come on.
Straight right landed again for Evander. Left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Textbook Holyfield. Moore against the ropes, where he so often gets in trouble. Jab disappearing for Moore.
Holyfield is trying to lure Moore into throwing 3 of those right jabs, and then he's going to count him with that straight right. But you can get hurt doing that with a southpaw.
Moore trying to box his way to the heavyweight championship, and it's just not the right script for him. Where's the fire? Where's the passion? Where's the desperate need to win the title? Hard to see it here.
Holyfield was like a good on the table waiting.
Up to now, I think you can fairly say Holyfield was ready to lose the title.
Easy breathing.
Moore isn't ready to win it with 2 more rounds to go.
Easy breathing. Easy breathing. Little water. Little water.
Give me that right there. Give me that.
Want some more water?
How much
Harold
time?
Letterman, 10 rounds. Your verdict so far.
Larry, controversy written all over the fight, but I got it 96, 93, 6 rounds to 4, Evander Holyfield. I think it's going to be close, controversial at the end. No question, I think either guy can win it, but I think that knockdown is going to be a very, very big part of the fight.
When you heard him, quit looking at him. Keep
Come on, come on, come on. Can you do that? Can you do that? Go on, you got it.
Now for the first round, Holyfield is bouncing.
Holyfield is coming out in this round like he's the one behind.
And he's going to take away any possibility of aggression by Moore by being the aggressor himself. Spent the first 20 seconds of the round backing Michael Moore up.
One step back, Evander. One step back. Come on, come on. Here we go, Michael.
Trading punches. Holyfield having established now that he can take any one shot at a time from Moore. Eddie Atlas trying to get his fighter to throw 3 and 4 and 5 at a time. Moore a little more active now, but Holyfield matching him punch for punch.
Moore is real protective of that right jab now. He doesn't want to get hit with that hook underneath anymore. Jabs and bring it back home quick.
Uppercut through the guard by Holyfield. Left hook to the body. Left hook straight right. He eats a jab from Moore, but Moore doesn't step in to follow it.
Get off that neck. Come on.
You land a jab that flush, George. You ought to at least throw the left hand.
Yeah, he is really trying to be extra protective of himself. It seems that he wants to go 12 rounds.
Expecting a war, and a boxing match broke out. Solid straight right hands by Holyfield, 2 in a row. Michael Moore fighting in the 11th round for the first time in his life has produced an effort a little bit more spirited than in the 3 rounds that preceded it. But Holyfield has stepped his level up as well.
Punch out, 2 angles, right on.
Wipe him down, wipe him down. I want to tell you one thing. Michael, in your mind, you're doing your best.
Round, Michael.
Have I ever lied to you? Michael, you're not doing your best. You're going to cry afterwards. You're never going to have an opportunity again like this. You're throwing jabs and you're satisfied. You're satisfied just to do enough to keep him off you. You can't do that now. In this world, we can't do that all the time.
Fight him, Mike. Got you, Holy. The Lord's going to get you through it. You got to get out there and you got to get after it, man. It's time to go to war. You can do it, Holyfield. You can do it. Jesus loves you.
Because he's leaning forward. Don't let him rest. Just fight the whole round.
Listen, man. Okay, hold on.
Before you win the fight. Michael, go in.
Harold, what does Moore have to do to win?
All right, here we go.
I got it 6-5, 105, 103. Evander Holyfield. Evander by 2 points.
That's my scorecard as well.
All right. So we're in sync. Both scorers here. 105, 103 going to the 12th. Michael Moore lands a solid jab and follows up to the body. Holyfield rocking back just a little bit. Right hand snaps Holyfield's head back. The chance is here for Moore. You have to suspect he needs at least a knockdown, maybe not a knockout. There's only been one knockdown in the fight. It was Moore who went down briefly, early.
Holyfield miscalculated. He thought that Moore was just going to hang on this round. And I guess once he come alive and realize he's going to fight, he'll pick the pace back up again. But he just miscalculated. Misjudged Moore.
Holyfield coming back with the 2 weapons that have served him so well. Left hook, straight right hand, left hook. Moore, energy sapped for the moment. Content only to push Evander off. Not punching. Now here's the jab. And another. Evander's going to throw that straight right hand for 1 minute and 42 seconds and dare Moore to try to walk through it. You're looking at the dogged determination of a man for whom it has meant everything in life and in boxing.
Evander Holyfield has proven to me that there's no one in boxing with a bigger heart. This guy is everything you want in a fighter, and that's all you want is heart.
When you can come into the ring at maybe 70–80% of your best, as appears to be the case for the champion tonight, and still find a way, as appears to be the case for the champion.
When he couldn't do anything else, he fought for his title.
Well, Moore had a big first minute in this round, but every round is 3 minutes. And with Evander Holyfield, virtually every title fight is 12 full rounds. One last assault from the challenger.
That's that brave chin that just doesn't need any more punches on it, Evander.
The question now is, can the officials give the heavyweight championship of the world to Michael Moore on a close fight like this in which he's been knocked down? Harold Letterman, your final result.
I still maintain it doesn't get any closer than that. This fight was really close. I had it 6 rounds to 6. I mean, I had it even in rounds. 114, 113, Evander Holyfield. I had Holyfield winning by 1 point based on a knockdown. I think that Michael Moore did pull out the last round. I think this fight is as close as you can possibly get, but I think Evander is just going to win it by a point.
George, you agree that Moore won that 12th round?
Not really at all. Moore came out and surprised Holyfield, but Holyfield took over and took charge again. He's champion of the world, and you got to do more than win 30 seconds of a round to whip this top guy. In my mind now, but I'm not the thinker I used to be.
I'll say this. It's a good thing for Moore that the judges don't listen to trainer Teddy Atlas between rounds. They would certainly know how Teddy scored it. Right now, let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, we go to the scorecards. Dalby Shirley scores the bout 114 to 114. He has it even. Chuck Jampa scores the bout 116 to 112. And Jerry Roth scores it 115 to 114 for the winner by majority decision and new heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Moore.
You got it.
There's Teddy Atlas. He's got a heavyweight champion now. Tutored by Customato, involved early on in the career of Mike Tyson. After a confrontation with Tyson over behavior in the gym, Teddy Atlas was removed from that situation and lost his chance at that time to work with a heavyweight titleist. Now, finally, he's got one. Now to Larry Merchant in the ring with the new champ.
Michael Moore, you're the heavyweight champion of the world. Did you believe at the end that they would give you the decision even though you were knocked down and it was a fairly close fight?
Excuse me. First of all, I'd like to thank the Heavenly Father, and that fight was dedicated to my son who is home. Hey, enough. Everyone talked about the fight going 12 rounds, if I could take it or not. I just had to keep him off of my jab, and I did it. I worked 7.5 hard weeks. I got it.
All right, we're going to show you the replay of the knockdown in round 2. You describe, or was it round 3? You describe what happened.
I remember he stunned me with 1, then he came with a 1-2, I think.
Because you had the best of it earlier in that exchange before a left got you down.
It was a good shot.
You weren't hurt, though, were you?
No, sir. I was stunned for a minute. Boxing is a sport where you want to get hit. So.
All right. Teddy Atlas was riding you like a jockey through the home stretch in those last 3 or 4 rounds, telling you that this is the opportunity of a lifetime. What did that mean to you?
That's what he was supposed to do. He pushed me, and we worked on that in the gym. And, you know, I like a person like that just to push me like that.
Was there anything in particular that he said that rung a bell? When he said this is the one opportunity in a lifetime, you've got 12 minutes to go?
He told me this is for my son, and I pushed hard for my son.
Did you sense that Evander Holyfield was not all there during much of this fight?
I'd have to ask Teddy. Teddy kept instilling in my mind that this is what I have to do. I want to say hi to all the people who supported me back in Menneson and Amon Valley, Detroit. I'm coming home.
Thank you very much, Michael Mora, heavyweight champion of the world. In a moment, we'll have, here we have Evander Holyfield. Evander, did the clock just run out of you tonight?
Well, you know, first of all, I'd like to thank God, for me just even lasting around. You know, I did all that I had, and, left-handed, he's been left-handed, and, he's just couldn't get off like I wanted to.
That left-handedness gave you a problem in fighting?
A big problem, but, I trained for it, and he was able to get off, and I take my hat off. He fought a rugged fight.
Do you think it's fair that you knocked him down? It's a very, very close fight to lose the heavyweight championship on that kind of decision.
Well, I wasn't watching the fight. I was in the fight. Maybe when I see it on tape, I have a different outlook on it. All I know now is that I'm tired and I'm sore, and I just want to get some rest.
Now tell me about the eye. It was a punch that opened the eye. How much of a factor was it in the fight?
Well, it was a big factor. It kept running in my eyes, and I did what I could, with the cut, and I realized that being a champion, you got to fight in all circumstances.
Did you make a mistake by not having Ace Murata, your old cut man, in the corner to take care of it?
Well, no, not at all. I'm telling you, it wasn't to a point where that it stopped me. I did what I had to do, and that's all you can ever do is do what you have to do. You have to fight in all circumstances.
Do you think that fighting so many big men through the years, including that highly emotional fight against Riddick Bowe just 5 months ago, just took it out of you and it's just not there anymore?
Well, I can't make up an excuse. If Michael Moore fought a great fight, he was able to get off. And, I did what I could, and I can't put it on that. I was highly motivated when I came in here, and I prayed to God, and I felt that victory would be mine. And upon losing this, it could possibly be a victory. Maybe I need to stay home with the kids a little bit more longer.
Is that a retirement announcement?
Oh, no, I haven't said that. I need to go home to rest. Just like if I would have won, I need to go home to rest and think about it.
Thank you very much, Evander.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Jim, at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Larry Merchant. George Foreman, you could have fooled me. I frankly thought under these circumstances, in that kind of a fight, and especially considering the knockdown, that the champion would get the decision, or perhaps we would see a draw. You?
I think Evander Holyfield, he hopped, skipped, and dropped too many managers and promoters. Listen, the Duva people have got too many pieces of paper with too many different fighters. I'm hurt, and I'm scarred by a great performance. Evander should have won that fight. And I'm going to have to eat heavy tonight to get over this.
So you're suggesting when you say the Duva people have too many pieces of paper with too many fighters, that their promotional rights may have played a role in this decision?
Somebody's going to have to step in and say, hey, who are you with? What fighter are you with?
But, George, they hold the promotional rights to Holyfield as well.
Right. Maybe it's coming. Well, anyway, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it, but I have seen enough. Something is going to have to be done. One promoter owning one fighter. It's time that boxing make a gigantic stand and get this junk out of here.
So you're saying you believe this was a very bad decision?
I have a very terrible decision. Evander Holyfield fought his heart out. He was cut. He stood in there, and quietly he was a hit on points. And that's just my opinion, and I didn't eat a whole lot today,
All right. Ultimately, it turned on the opinion of the judges, and let's take a look at the scorecards right now, where you will see one amazing discrepancy, which is that in the second round, well, there are the three scorecards, Jampa, Roth, and Shirley. And, of course, Chuck Jampa sees it as 116 to 112 for Holyfield. But here's the amazing discrepancy. In the second round, when after vicious exchanges on both sides, Evander Holyfield floored Michael Moorer. We find when we look at the scorecards that none of the three judges scored it a 10 to 8 round for Holyfield, as our Harold Letterman did. And indeed, one judge, Jerry Roth, who ultimately gave the fight to Moorer by 1 point, scored the second round an even round.
I'm telling you, something is going to have to be done, and maybe it's time that I go into politics. They tell me they have good banquets in that business.
You think you've ever seen an even round scored in a championship fight when a knockdown was scored by the champion?
No, I'm very disappointed, and the people at home should not lose face with boxing. It's going to get better.
All right, more to come, no doubt, in the week ahead about this one. Let's go up to our host, James Brown.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And you mentioned more to come. Well, it is going to be in the form of Michael Moorer, who, it was interesting, Teddy Atlas, his trainer, wanted Michael Moorer to come out and to fight as if he had been hit by a wild pack of dogs at the outset. I thought Michael Moorer was relatively judicious. Yes, the jab did work quite effectively, but he really didn't display things until the last round. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that last round. That's as active as Michael Moorer was all evening long, and that's exactly what Teddy Atlas wanted to see throughout. Again, it was a very strong first half of the round for Michael Moorer. Evander Holyfield did respond, but to close out the round, it was Michael Moorer taking the challenge, nodding, saying, yes, I can handle it, and I feel that I am, in fact, the champion, and he was borne out as accurate, the new heavyweight champion of the world. And, folks, let me tell you, history has been made as Michael Moorer now is the first southpaw heavyweight champion ever to become the heavyweight champion. The will to win, the power to destroy was brought to you by Budweiser, proud to be your bud. TVKO returns in June with a super middleweight bout featuring Roberto Duran, who has battled in over 100 fights, taking on the two-time world champion, Vinny Pazienza. That will be an evening of legend and comeback. That'll come your way Saturday, June 25th, live on TVKO. Then turn to HBO 2 weeks from tonight for another heavyweight championship when Lennox Lewis will defend his WBC crown against Phil Jackson. Also featured will be the exciting and colorful WBC featherweight title holder, Kevin Kelly, who will be taking on Jesse Benavides. That'll be live on